What's up, everybody? Just geeking out over some carpet cleaning knowledge that I picked up in my training course over the last couple of days. I actually got this book, The Professional Carpet Cleaning Manual. If you don't want to learn like carpet secrets, I would just turn this thing off right now. But if you're an auto detailer, a homeowner, a car enthusiast, someone who loves their car, and you want to tap into non-jargon wisdom, stuff that you can use right now to make your carpet cleaning easier and more effective, then watch this video because I have a lot to talk about. I just go back and forth. Again, it's Nick from Hawk Pro Detailing, Heber City, Utah. Go ahead and subscribe. There's a little hawk in the corner if you want to support this content. And I want to apologize for how messy the garage is. We share the house with our in-laws. Super grateful. They help us with the kids. We would never have been able to get into a home without teaming up. So that is millennial life, isn't it? And by the way, I do this as a very aggressive side hustle. Detailing is a very huge passion of mine, but a lot of people have asked kind of like about my story, and it's like I haven't really shared that yet. But what I'm trying to do is support my family. I took my passion and have turned it into a very, very busy side hustle. I think I'm still working on how to be profitable, how to price myself, what my packages look like. I've got that all down. I've got a website. It's hawkprodetailing.com, and I'm pretty comfortable with that. But like all of us, we're learning, right? We're constantly growing. If we're humans, we're imperfect. If we're a business, we're run by humans. And so every day I'm not making it up, but I'm trying to get better every day. And so whatever I have now may not be perfect. It's why I'm so excited to tap into the wisdom of the IICRC. I went to their training class, it talked about how polyester and nylon are the most common fabrics. Why do you care about fabric types? I know I'm boring you already. Because it depends on the fabric, on how that will clean, how it will handle soil, and you want to know what you're dealing with, especially if you have to go and work on a stain, like a red or green stain. You want to know what the fabric is before you decide what to do for it. No, we're not just throwing heavy degreasers on things, hoping that steam will take them out. There's a method to the madness, and I'm going to get into that in a second, but we did go through why in the heck we want to know what kind of fiber it is. Hot water extraction is recommended every 6 to 12 months. So if you're a detailer and you're starting to talk to your customers about, they're joking how they haven't ever had a detailed, you can have some knowledge behind you. And that's what I love about this class is, manufacturers say you should be doing a really serious hot water extraction wash on your carpets every 6 to 12 months. That is what the official carpet cleaners recommend is the best method is hot water extraction. By the way, people have said, I did a video about how you need hot water extractor for auto detailing, and people were like, I've never used one. Scott, I'm looking at you, buddy. It's because you do fancy cars and you never touch interiors anymore because you're beyond that. But a lot of us are in the trenches doing this. So hot water extractor, big deal. You got to have it if you're going to do this the right way. You don't need it on every carpet wash, right? On every carpet clean. But for the big kind of restoration clean, as they call it, you do want a hot water extractor. One thing for sales, you need a script. And that was a reminder to me is I don't have a script. I wing it every time. All the salespeople out there say you need a script. What are your sales tactics? What script do you use? Send it to me. Maybe I can use it for myself. I'm working on that too. I'm not a good salesperson. I'm passionate about the cleaning. They talk about upselling as enhancing the experience. I don't know how I feel about upselling yet. I still don't think my sales are on par. You do want to ask them the last time it's been detailed. And one trick the instructor said is you change that answer in years equivalent to days. So if they say it's been a year, you're going to say, wow, so it's been 365 days since anyone detailed that carpet. And then have it memorized for 2 years, right? I thought that was an interesting trick to equate the number of years in days and give that perspective to your customers when you're setting expectations, because so much of this business is setting expectations for your customers. So the answer, let me think about it, is always no. You want to have a different script in sales for different types of people. And then think about flooring or a carpet or a car as an investment. You want to maximize the value of that investment. And carpet done right is an asset. If you maintain your carpet It's going to be healthier for the air quality and for the people inside of the vehicle. I think we all know that one. And it's going to look better. So there were like 4 levels of clean they talked about in the class that I thought were really interesting. The initial clean, the routine clean, periodic clean, and intensive or restorative. Intensive or restorative is hitting something with a high level pH. It's a pre-spray, then you're going in there to rinse it with acid. That means you're putting some acid rinse powder into your hot water extractor, mixing it up, and then you're shooting that acidic rinse into the carpet. You're rinsing out the alkaline stuff, and some of that will be left behind as residue, but it's going to be acidic, and that's where you want your carpet because most soils are alkaline, so you want it to be the opposite of that. Otherwise, it resoils faster. So how many times are you going to do a routine clean? I mean, that's like vacuuming it every day or every week. It's unlikely that your customers are going to be doing that. So what are you going to be doing? Maybe think about pricing it for 3 different ways. Initial, right? The first time you see a vehicle. Periodic, and they have VLM here. That's very low moisture. That's a way you can clean a carpet with an encapsulation product. I'll get into that later. Encapsulation is really nice because you don't have to hot water extract. It's a little acidic on the pH scale, but what it does is it wraps the polymers in a coating so that the soil breaks away from the fabric. So it wrapped the fabric in a polymer coating, I believe, or some kind of coating. And then the soil separates from the fiber because the coating is around the fiber, and so once you are done, you can vacuum it all up and it comes right out. So, and it prevents resoiling. So encapsulation is a nice thing to have in your bag of tricks. And then intensive, you'd be using your hot water extraction. And I'm not sure about initial, but I like thinking of like detailing as well as like 3 levels, maybe initial, periodic, and intensive. And maybe you could price your services that way. And have a mentality of like, I know I'm selling this today. Not like, oh, they'll never buy this from me today, but like go into it saying, hey, I'm going to sell this today. So maybe it's me detailing someone's car and believing in the window coating, right? And saying, I know I'm going to upsell to a ceramic window coating. I'm going to have a pitch. I'm going to say, this is why you want this ceramic coating on your windows. It's going to do this, this, and this. Have that pitch ready and just have that commitment saying, I'm going to sell this today. I'm talking to myself here, but wouldn't that be cool? You do want to set expectations. We can remove soil, okay? When you're dealing with a carpet, I can't change the appearance of the carpet necessarily as far as once the fiber is damaged, it's damaged. So I can't make the carpet brand new, and it's never going to look brand new, but we can remove soil. So almost disappointing before you start with your expectations. There are all kinds of like minutia of every soil type, and I'm not going to quite get into that, but for instance, wool, you can only use a certain pH range to clean wool, which you're not going to run into in cars, but it gives you a sense of like, you don't quite know, you're not ready to walk in someone's house and clean their upholstery and their carpets quite yet unless you know this stuff, because wool doesn't respond to a heavy hitter alkaline. You have to clean within a certain pH. Fiber can be lost over time. That's in any carpet if it looks dark. In fact, it's not dirt, it's just missing. It's kind of an interesting thing that happens with carpet. Oil binds soil to the fiber, right? Oils are introduced through usage and that kind of thing. So you need to emulsify the oil, which is to break it down to remove it. So you want to remove the oil and the soil. In another video, my first video on Nick Goes to Carpet College, we learned 74 to 79% of carpet dirt or soil is just dry particulate. It's just stuff you have to remove. You have to remove it dry. So big thing I learned at Carpet College is remove as much soil dry as you can. I always knew you wanted to work dry, but I got impatient and I would just kind of hit the carpet with the brush, maybe vacuum, maybe a quick tornador, maybe one more brush and vacuum. I mean, whatever. That sounds like a lot, but there would still be a lot of stuff left over. You could always get more dirt up. When everything is dry and it looks kind of cloudy and brown in a section, you probably just didn't remove the dirt well enough. So get as much dry dirt out of the vehicle as you can. Why am I wearing headphones? I don't even know. I was working in the garage before this started. Okay, if anyone's still watching, thank you so much. We talk about different generations of nylon, acid dye resistors. Oh my goodness, nylon cleans very well. Remember, it's synthetic. Wool cleans as well, but wool is natural. Here are a couple things that are interesting. Protection. If your carpet's protected, the dirt will not adhere to the fibers, right? The fibers are coated, and you have that effect sometimes where it beads up. So if you see those like textile coatings for your ceramic coating companies, you can sell it like, it's going to bead up for a long enough time that it'll give you a chance to grab something and wipe it down. So it's not going to be bulletproof, but you're giving the carpet fibers a chance before it sets in. Can you believe there's an entire book on this? I don't know how much longer I'm going to go in this video. Synthetic fibers. Polyester is increasingly popular. Upholstery fibers are very often polyester. So you're going to see car upholstery seats and that kind of thing. So one thing you could sell to your customers is like, listen, soil will attack the plastic fibers and it will break it down. And once those fibers have damage, you don't go in with a buffer and polish them out. They'll never look the same. So by keeping that area more routinely vacuumed, you're going to have less soil and your carpet fibers will have less abrasion and they will look better. So whether it's you or whether it's them vacuuming their carpeting often, it actually makes sense as to why the appearance does decrease over time. And they talk about scratches, physical damage, show apparent soiling or traffic lane gray. If there's one big takeaway from carpet college, it's that we can remove soil, but we can't take back time. And the more jargon you know, it's all real stuff. The more jargon you know and you can explain to your customers, the more they're going to respect you and understand. We were told there are 50 variables. 50 every time you encounter fabric. There's a lot to know. There's a way that you can test carpet, and the most common is actually burn test. It's simple, it's more accurate than visual testing. You have to use your own sense of sight and smell, which could lead to mistakes, but you actually take a fiber, you put it in the right tweezer setup and everything, but you burn it, and you see how the flame reacts to the fiber. You see what happens to the fiber if it turns blue or black, if it burns naturally. What does the ash do in your hand? It sounds really old school, but that actually tells you what carpet fiber you have. I think you just sort of assume it's like a nylon polyester mix as far as car carpets go. And so there's that. You're looking, does it melt or shrink back? You want to use a disposable butane lighter because there's no odor, and you should do it over an ashtray or the sink, but they don't really recommend the sink. And this tells you all the ways, like wool smells like burning hair, cotton smells like burning paper, polyester has a sweet overripe fruit smell. If you want to try this at home, I'm sure there are other videos on how to do burn tests for carpet fibers. But yeah, 99.9% of cars are going to be synthetic fibers, right? Like your polyesters or nylons, unless you're getting into really fancy, I don't know, Rolls Royces or what kind of vehicles. We went through primary backing, secondary backing, fusion bonded carpets. I don't think y'all care too much about this stuff. There are so many things that we talked about. CHAPT, which is chemical action, heat, agitation, and time. These are like the 4 principles of cleaning. Chemical action, heat, agitation, and time. So heat is your friend. But some stains heat can set, right? You probably knew that in your head, but didn't know how that quite worked, and I don't quite know either. That was very staccato. Water by itself is not a good cleaner. Some soils are not going to be broken down by water, and some won't even be broken down by chemicals. Those are your dry soils. But obviously you're trying to emulsify the dirt and then get it out of there somehow. I'm boring myself, you guys. I'm boring myself. There's so much that I learned. I guess I just want to keep the conversation going. Like, I can't wait to, if I learn one thing, I think as carpet detailers, we have a tendency to over-wet the area. They showed me this really fancy upholstery tool. It's like $550, and I'm like, my Mighty Light was $900 or $1,000. You want me to spend $550 on a little upholstery tool, but it gets the area less wet, and it kind of pulls the fiber up to the wand, and so I think you're getting less overspray, and it kind of blew my mind. I didn't buy it, but it was very interesting. There's one last thing I want to talk about. Most soil is acidic. Carpet fibers are made of plastic. You want to describe dirt and etc. and synthetic carpets as soil, and soil does wear out a carpet prematurely, so it can ugly out. And most of the soil is acidic. Acids have a negative effect on the carpet. Oils that were on the fiber can become part of the fiber, so oils can oxidize. The resins they form will begin to yellow and eventually weaken a carpet fiber. There's water-soluble, solvent-soluble, and then there's also clay, sand, quartz, feldspar, limestone, carbon, vegetable fiber, and animal hair. They don't dissolve in your water or in your chemicals. You just gotta get them out. 74 to 79% of carpet soil consisted of non-soluble soil such as minerals, dirt, animal hair, and vegetable fibers. I thought that was so fascinating. Soil comes in through the air, like hair flying through the sky. Ventilation system spills, they can get tracked in. One thing you can do is, if people are having carpets at home, tell them to have a rug on the inside and on the outside, but only if the rug is protected by some kind of pergola or whatever you call that, some kind of roof over the porch area. There's chemical reaction, pH scale. All I really want to talk about on a pH scale is really high up there is 14, and that would just be super aggressive. Each time you go from 0 to 1 to 2, you're going by a factor of 10. So each step is 10 times as great as the next. And so a difference between a 4 and a 12 is quite big when you factor a 10 every time you take a step up that ladder. You can like meter for carpeting, I think, or certain kinds of stains. Yeah, you have a digital pH tester. So like anything, there's a rabbit hole that you can go down. If your pre-spray dries, you don't want to put more pre-spray on there. I don't know if you've gone through pre-spray yet, but it's the thing you let sit on the carpet after you vacuumed that kind of helps emulsify a lot of the soil. But if you've gone too far ahead and for whatever reason your carpet is dried, you would want to just re-wet it with some water and then go about your business. You don't want to drive a brush into a dry pre-spray carpet, and you definitely don't want to put more pre-spray on top of it. I don't even know why, but I just took those notes from a pro. The use of soft water in the cleaning process will aid in effective cleaning and reduce money you spend because you reduce the amount of chemicals that are required. Agitating a pre-spray, right? After you've pre-sprayed, it allows you to know that you've reached every spot. So let's say you're spraying, right? And I've got some solution in here. Oops, that's a really weak spray. What's that all about? Give it a good shakerino. I don't know why that spilled. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but here we go. We're just gonna give it a nice pre-spray, okay? And by agitating every spot, instead of soaking the carpet, we just know that this is going to touch every fiber. So instead of getting carpets so wet, you guys, try focusing on light applications of your products if you're going to go with carpet cleaning products, because these will do a lot of the work for you. And make sure you've hit every spot by agitating. Let it coat every fiber and not over-wet things. I think we have a tendency to over-wet, and every time you add too much moisture to carpet cleaning, you run the risk of wicking, right? The fibers are going to dry from the base up. And one cool tip, so let's say you've shampooed your carpets, whatever, and you've even rinsed with something acidic. One cool tip that you can try is use something like this. IICRC O2. It's low enough on the pH scale at 5.5 that you could just use it as a pre-spray, but it's also a really good one-step encapsulation product. And what's cool about this, it has the power of hydrogen peroxide. So I asked, will you have any danger of steaming over this and bleaching carpets? And the guys assured me no. So what this does, it's acidic enough to be a nice pre-spray if you need it to be. And then what it's also good for as a one-step is that you can throw it on there. Again, with encapsulation products, you want to mist lightly and agitate a lot to give it a chance to work itself into those fibers. What happens is, as the fibers dry, they're coated in a polymer, and all the dirt is separate from the fibers. So you just run a vacuum over it, and you look for any spots. And the idea is you could even get wicking with an end cap product. So you really want to go light mist, more agitation with an encapsulation product. Look, there were all kinds of other tips. Acid rinsing makes carpets feel softer. But really, I guess if I learned anything, it was just keep an open mind. We talked about safety, MSDS sheets, using an iron to get red stains out, get one that isn't from home. Steam works just as well. So just some tips on spotting and stain removal, but they have separate courses on odor removal, separate courses on spotting, separate courses on tile and grout. I am so grateful that I've tapped into their knowledge. One thing that we talked about is, how in the heck do I remove a salt stain? And what they showed me is this. How do I remove a salt stain? Well, I was at the class for a couple days and I picked up this bottle, which I've squeezed into my container and probably looks horrible. It's urine neutralizer, but what this does, it's at a 3 on the pH scale. That's the most acidic product that I own. You pre-treat with this kind of liberally, actually. You want it to soak into every fiber. Salt is very alkaline, so you want to neutralize that with acid. You let it sit for about 30 minutes, work it in, extract with hot water, and then you go about cleaning the carpet in a way that you normally would. You could even use this in-cap product right here with a pH of 5.5. That's pretty nice. Or you could go for your heavy pre-spray with a very high pH, and then you would let that sit for maybe 10 minutes. And then you would extract with a product like Flex Ice, which is a really nice rinsing agent. And you could even lightly mist on some in-cap product at the end, just ever so slightly, and work it in so that as everything dries, you're trying to prevent any wicking from happening, so that when you vacuum you can get all the dirt out, and it's not, whatever wicking does, it's not bound up in a hazy, milky, chalky looking stain on your customer's carpet. So I thought that was really fascinating. Apparently there are even better products out there like Spot Stop that will prevent wicking at an even greater level. But I love knowing all this stuff, knowing how to deliver, and I hope that some of these tips helped you. I went to carpet college. I don't want to give away all the secrets, but man, I would just encourage you, open up your mind to what is possible. It is snowing outside right now, and I've had to really rethink, gung-ho paint correction and ceramic coatings as a mobile detailer. I'm very good at them, and I was very busy with them until the wintertime hit. And you can't reinvent the wheel. People want their interiors done right. So I want to become the best. I want to become a master. I want to be able to back it up so that I can make my hourly wage and support my family. Who's with me out there, guys? Thanks for watching. Have a great day.